Why don't we go ahead and get things started? I'm going to kick off with a ring of the bell there, the old cowbell. So welcome to the September 23rd Rotary Club of Newport's Zoom meeting. I don't know the count. We've done a couple of them here in the last couple of weeks. So welcome. Greeters, Dave or Kathy Heater. I saw Kathy earlier. Kathy, are you able or would you like to lead us in the flag salute?
Sure. Are you ready?
You've got it up there now. Go ahead.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Great job. Okay. Any, Kathy, is there, that you know of, is there any visiting Rotarians on here?
I haven't seen any.
Okay.
I don't know that for a fact, but I'm on my phone versus my computer, so I don't have as much screen.
Okay. Generally we would see Ken Franson, he's considered visiting Rotarian, or we might have Chris from Florence Club. I don't see either of those, so we'll just take it at that. How about guests? Who wants to introduce some guests today? No, Raina's on here somewhere. She's got a couple, right?
I'm here.
Sorry. Yes, I should have our two students of the month. Yep, I see them. We have James and Annie Lackey.
Wonderful. How you guys doing? Any other guests on here? Oh, Claire, go ahead. Or I think Claire's got her hand up. Maybe she's clapping. Okay, maybe that was just a applaud. There you go. All right, so I wanted to just go over a few things and kind of talk about where we're at. John asked me this question a little bit earlier, and likely what we're going to do with Zoom and meeting. I was hoping to see, I don't see Ursula on here, but I was hoping to kind of get her input and give us some guidance on getting back together, and then as well as we may send out a meeting or a survey monkey to talk a little bit about how people feel or what we should worry about, or getting back in person. So likely we'll bring it up at our board meeting, and then as well as either survey monkey or our next general member meeting. So certainly worried about that, thinking about that, and hoping to get back together. We've got, I announced last week we had several new members. I see a couple of them here today, and so we introduced those folks last week. I do have the plaques and the certificates and the packets. So just let me know. We got half a dozen folks there that are on that list. Let me know if I can deliver them to you, or if you want to come by my office and pick them up, whichever works. So open to that. Open to meeting at a off-site location or Starbucks or whatever's safe. Whatever you'd like to do on that. So just let me know on that. I also know we had a couple of weeks ago, we did an extra drawing for the, we had a bumper sticker and a badge, and I believe Diane and Mark are the recipients of that. So I have another pair. So Sonia, if you can, I'm going to run through and add them again. Okay, great. Let's see here. So Ursula's not on here, right? We don't see Ursula to get any kind of a update for the COVID situation, anything there?
Richard,
Actually, Richard, go ahead.
Ursula is out of town because her mother just passed away.
That's right. I did know that a minute ago. Okay. Well, we'll table that and look at that here just as soon as we can. One of the other things I had on here, Amy, for you to speak a little bit about the beach cleanup or bay cleanup. Do you want to take a moment and remind us about that event?
Sure. Yeah, it's this Saturday. I believe John sent out the link for you to sign up, at least for the bay cleanup, but you can sign up for any cleanup. I believe they have them at, I know for sure Beverly Beach, Agate Beach, Nye Beach. I don't believe they're doing South Beach this time. So even if you just decide that you want to show up, the beach locations are being manned by Surfrider, and the bay location is the Hatfield group. So, and Hatfield is meeting at the Yacht Club.
if we show up or decide to have a presence there, just meet at the yacht club, what should we bring, or how should we dress, or what should we prepare for?
That's a good question. So what I wear to most beach cleanups is rubber boots. I bring a bucket with me because that way I can collect my own things and then dump it into they're now doing grain sacks that they're dumping them into instead of using more plastic bags. So I have brought like pickers with me before, but I didn't find them helpful because usually you're just you're picking it up on your own, and the pickers are not, they're just one more thing to carry. So good jacket, a mask, in case you're within 3 to 6 feet of somebody. So, and clothes you don't love.
And that's kind of like a 10 to 1 timeline, is that what the email said?
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. Okay. Well, I'm going to try and show up there, so hopefully we can get a few other folks there out there. And I like your idea is that likely the masses will be out on the beach and we can cover the backside. So I like that idea. And that sounds like a different perspective. So
There's an amazing amount of trash at the high tide line, and that has sometimes been there for years. Yeah, so.
next we have Sonia. Do you want to talk a little bit about Coastbusters? Sorry to put you on the spot there.
That's okay. I'm going to let Sylvia go first.
Okay, go ahead, Sylvia.
Yeah, actually, I was going to mention the beach cleanup. So we'll see everyone at 10 at the yacht club or your own location if you don't feel comfortable in the group. But for Coastbusters, that is coming up. We've got it the week of the. I'm going to give you a week off. So
Saturday, October 9th.
the 9th. So we've got the beach cleanup this week, then we skip a week, then the 9th is Coastbusters. That will be at the Newport track. And we need 3 more people to volunteer. And I'm actually going to ask for a show of hands right now or type in the chat. We need someone at the registration table at 7:45 in the morning. That gig goes till 9:15. So we're not even talking 2 hours there to sign in people who are walking. And then there will be also a buy a ribbon table called the memory board table from 8 to 11, where 2 people who would be able to sell ribbons and write down people's remembrances or why they're walking or inspiration or whatever. So, and in terms of donation also, there will be an email reminder coming around with John and with also a website for the Coastbusters walk where you can donate, especially, you know, if you're in memory of somebody, Fazat. And, you know, I fortunately have not had breast cancer, but I know people who have, and I'm just delighted they're walking here with us. So glad to help in that regard. So do I have any volunteers, show of hands, who would be able to help with the registration at 7:45? Anyone up for that now?
Well, I'll be there, so I can help in that capacity, likely.
Patty
Great, okay.
Eisler also has her hand up.
Who does?
Patty.
Okay. So
Thank you, Richard and Patty.
Patty and Richard, and who's up for the 11 a.m. 8 a.m. to 11? Any takers? Okay, I'll take one of the slots. I'll miss my Mushroom Club hike and not do the morning one since we have folks for that. And do email me, or after you've checked your schedule, if you can't unmute yourself, type in the chat if you can join me for 8 to 11. So thank you for those who volunteer, and thanks in advance for those who will be donating via the web link. Open to suggestions in terms of November projects. I haven't heard back yet from the foster care contact via Mrs. Hanrahan and other things. So back to the prez.
Any other things, Sonia, we need to add in on that? Anything else that we should know, or anything, supplies we should bring, or preparations?
Yes, so the Coastbusters Walk, it's going great. We have 77 people registered for the walk itself right now, which is awesome. We're thrilled with that. We've gotten a lot of sponsorships. A lot of people, or some people at least on this call, are sponsors. If you are a sponsor and you would like a table at the event, please let me know. You are able to come in and have materials that you hand out at the walk. So that's something. We are still accepting. We've ordered a few extra t-shirts. So if you still want to walk and you really want a t-shirt, the sooner you sign up, the more likely you are to actually be guaranteed one. But we do have a few that extra that we are ordering. So other than that, we're rocking and rolling. And thank you, John Zagel, for all of your help with the website, and for to Diane and Julia on this call have also been amazing in helping us get this going. So thank you to everybody who's helping out. And we've still got almost 2 weeks, a little bit over 2 weeks to go.
Wonderful, wonderful. I want to just share a couple of things. Claire Little had shared with me if you're interested in a makeup, she's got an avenue for the Eugene, let me make sure I say it right, the Eugene Metropolitan Club meets virtually. And so she will share, or I have information about that. So if you want to, on a Tuesday evening at 6 p.m., you need to make a Rotary makeup, or just want to hear some different insights or perspective, there's a club there that's done that, and they're welcoming to other members, and she visits that frequently. So again, contact Claire if you want to, or I should be able to get that information to you as well. Another big event coming up, October 24 is World Polio Day. So that's something that's big, and I know there's some events and some activities around that, so ways to participate. And then also we've got coming up here September 25th, so conflict a little bit on Saturday, but let's see here, Jennifer Jones, our president-elect, will speak about taking action to end poverty and protect the planet as at Global Citizen Live this year. So there's an event Saturday. You can hear her speak, hear her talk about the objectives and concerns and things that they're going to focus on. So wonderful Rotary events, a lot of good stuff happening, good ways to participate and help out and doing good. Any other quick announcements? Any other member announcements or anything else we need to know? Okay, I'm going to have, so next we're going to have John Zagel is going to do our history moment here. And so that's something that Diane took on and really kind of helped develop that, and credit to her. So she, John is sharing the responsibility, and, we were looking for volunteers, folks that want to take a few minutes and share something they've learned about Rotary, know about Rotary, or some events in Rotary's history. And so John's got, I'm going to introduce him and he'll take it away with what he wants to present. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, so what we have, we're kind of going to alternate here between the historical moment from Rotary International, the big Rotary, and then every once in a while we're going to look at our club specifically. So when it's raining for 14 consecutive days, what I do is I'm scanning all of Dick Fowler's, all of his newsletters, and it gives us a history of our group, of our club, and it's just really amazing. I'm a history major, and I really like looking at our history. And I liked when Bob Wiener brought in the history of his dad in the service, and those are just really interesting to me. So anyway, I think we need to know our history. So this is 8 years ago this week, and I think looking back, Jeff Outerkirk is introducing Tom Brantford, and we had 57 members and 29 were absent the day before. And the president was Mark Miranda, and the student of the month was Jacob Hanna. So just some neat history. Jim Wendell won the 50-50. He won $31 8 years ago. So that's worth, $150 now. So he should donate that back, I think. So anyway, that's what was happening 8 years ago in Newport Rotary.
Wonderful. Wonderful. I love that, John. Yeah, I as well like history, and I love seeing those artifacts that Dick created. And, I know he won many awards for those those articles. And then it's just like anything. I think he got told not to participate or not to enter. There's some story about that where he won so frequently, and they asked him not to do that anymore. So just interesting. Okay. Next, let's welcome Bob Weiner to Sergeant in Armed Duty. So Bob, have you got some stuff for us?
Oh, I've got a little bit, not much, but a little bit. Hello there, Rotarians.
Hello, Bob.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, I bet you missed me last week, didn't you? Well, sorry. I've got a new feature to my presentation, and I want to get to it real quick. And we're going to call it Beaver Facts. Do you know what running back currently leads the nation in rushing touchdowns? B.J. Baylor, Oregon State.
Wow.
Brandon Ayers won the Husky Invitational, a golfer for Oregon State. And Beaver women are now ranked as 14th in the nation in women's basketball. Just some Beaver facts that I bet none of you knew. But it is interesting, isn't it? It is interesting, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Okay. How are we with happy bucks? Has anyone got any happy dollars? Sonetta. Hey, I had your name written down here.
You know, and I thought I would preemptively hop in there.
Okay, tell us what you got.
Well, let's see. Trent's birthday's this month, and our anniversary was last week, and my birthday's next weekend, and I'm gonna.
Anniversary was this week.
Oh, our anniversary was this week. I just got corrected.
Thanks, Trent.
Thanks, Trent. And my kids are coming down to celebrate with my birthday, so I'm gonna wrap that into a $20 donation.
You got one other thing that you kind of forgot about that we're all keeping kind of track of.
My anniversary with Rotary is in
No.
October, isn't it? No.
No, that's not it. Sonetta,
Bob.
how's Thunder?
Oh, you know, he's doing great.
Uh-huh.
Do you want to see him?
Well, yeah, we do. Of course we do.
Come on. Come on. Yes, you. Come here. Come here.
You need
Come on,
obedience,
come on.
Will.
Get up here. Oh, all right.
Oh,
There he is.
there's Thunder. All right. All right. Well, good for
Started a
Thunder.
thing. Yeah.
All
He's
right.
3 months old, growing like a weed.
Well, I bet the kids will love that dog.
Yeah. My granddaughter loves him lots.
Good. Well, good for you. Any other happy bucks? Oh, Amy.
Well, I just love to report on beavers. So our daughter Jillian, I would like started Oregon State on Wednesday. We moved her in on Monday. She is actually staying in the same dorm that Rob did as a freshman. She is also 5th generation Oregon Stater.
Wow.
Yeah, through the women in my family.
Mhm.
And so pretty proud of that. So I'm going to donate $50 to my Paul Harris because I'm super proud of her. And she's also enrolled in bioengineering. So I'm really proud of her for wanting to take differential calculus and chemistry. And it's a little scary to me, but.
Oh, man, that would be scary. Well, you've got a little job you need to get done for us.
Okay.
We need Rob at next week's meeting.
Okay.
Do you know why we need Rob at next week's meeting?
It might be his birthday.
It could, well, it's pretty close, but it would be nice to have him. Yep.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. I'll do my best.
All right. Well, I know you'll do your very best. Okay. Any other happy dollars out there? Sandy, you're kind of ways. Yeah.
Waving.
What does that mean?
Yeah, it's the royal. Yes, I am. You raise your kids, you send them off, they have wonderful careers, and then by golly, they come back. It's sort of boomerang effect. And the younger daughter will be coming home to live with me from Charleston, South Carolina. packing her. She's already sent, the postman said, is someone moving by mail? Because she's sending boxes upon boxes of stuff. So she's going to share 2 rooms, and then she's loading her cello and all her music and clothes. And will be here probably the middle of October. Pretty exciting.
Well, that is exciting, you know, and I've got a little deal I'm going to work out with you here.
Okay.
I have a 50-year-old daughter that wants to come home. Will you take her? Please, Sandy.
I think we can work us out a really good deal here.
Oh, good. Oh, good. I'll tell her it's okay.
Okay.
Start mailing you packages.
If you have room, I have a 50-year-old daughter that's looking for housing too, so we can build a 3-plex. How about that?
Hey,
I think we've got something going here.
yeah, I see a new business. Yes, entrepreneur, here we come.
There you go. Anybody else? Anybody else? Mary, you
Yeah,
look so
Rob,
happy today.
I'll be happy twice.
Okay, Sylvia.
First $10 out of complete happiness that the Newport Symphony had a concert this weekend, actually 2, and it went well. They did require proof of vaccination or a negative test, and we wore masks, but gosh, it was great seeing the regulars and hearing some fantastic music. So next concert is first week of October. And I'll also be happy for my company's regional office sending us up to Seattle and picking up a Mariners game before the business meeting.
Wow.
So that was fun. I had never been to a pro sports event before. Growing up in Eugene, there was kind of a drought in that department. So it was a fun experience.
Sylvia, the opera, how well attended was it?
Symphony.
Sympathy.
I would say there was about 125, they said, maybe 130 Saturday night and around 100 on Sunday.
Well, good. That sounds pretty well.
Yeah, for the first time in ages, and I think some people didn't know it was going back in force, but yeah, we were pretty pleased.
Well, good for you. Anybody else, Mary? I know I'm still seeing a lot of happiness on your face. No happiness on Mary's face. Oh, everybody go, oh.
Oh, okay. So I do have a few happy dollars. I
I
spent.
knew it. I knew it. I just.
Of course you knew it. You can tell. You can just tell.
Yeah.
So I spent part of last week and part of this week with my husband's family and survived.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm happy about that. Actually had a lovely time. They're from Arizona, so everything they see in Oregon is like magic.
Oh,
And
really?
then, yeah, and my husband and his brother love to get caught up over beers, so a lot of beer was consumed. And then next week, my husband and I are going to go up to Mount Rainier for the week. No, we are not camping. No, no. We're going to stay at Paradise Lodge. So I will not be seeing you next week.
Well,
And
you'll be seeing me the week after.
And I will not miss you at all.
Oh, Mary, you're breaking my heart.
I
my
know.
heart.
I know. So I'm $20 happy.
God, I should be $20 happy that I'm not going to see you.
I know.
I'll be $20 happy. Yeah, there you go. I'm going to miss you, Mary.
Sure. Yeah.
Anybody else? Oh, yeah. Patty, did you raise your hand?
I did.
Okay.
So I will be $20 happy also because Oregon Coast Bank will be, its newest CEO starts on October 4th.
Oh, wow.
And you'll be happy to know, Bob, that he is a graduate business administration at Oregon State.
Well, of course. I mean, what do you think?
I know. So I'll donate the $20.
Oh, good. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, not seeing any more hands. I'll just turn it back over to Ray. Oh, yeah, Paul, go ahead.
I figured I'd dive in right here since I'm kind of new kid on the block. So I'll be twice $10 happy. First, happy to be back in the world of Rotary. It's gonna take me a little while to kind of get used to how all of this works, but I'm really looking forward to that. And that part makes me $10 happy, probably for a long time. And also, I'm $10 happy because my wife and I just found out yesterday all of our paperwork and everything was finally approved to buy a house out here.
Oh, wow.
So we're going to be putting down roots, and we're really excited. And if anyone has lots of 50-year-old children coming to move back, we do have beautiful Nye Beach, 2-story, 2-bedroom, 1,400 square foot apartment that will be available on November 1st. So
Wow,
it is,
we
you can just
may have
check
filled
that.
those up.
Yes.
Well, Paul, let me just tell you right here from the beginning, as far as getting along with everyone, as long as you do what I tell you, you'll do fine.
I'm learning that. I'm learning
Yeah.
that.
Okay, anybody else?
I've got happy bucks.
D-Mart.
Hi, Bob.
Hi, D-Mart.
How are you?
I'm doing real good.
So as an Oregon Duck, I
Oh,
spent
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's not too late to change.
I spent not so many wonderful hours at Oregon State Sunday, checking my grandson in to go to school there.
Oh, grandson.
What a mess that was. The check-in, because of the COVID, everybody had to get a COVID test. And so we sat in a car line for probably about 2 hours. And then by the time we got into research stadium, we had to go to get the COVID test. We stood in another line for about 3 hours. And then finally got him checked into his dorm, which was a relief. I finally got home maybe 8 o'clock at night. We went over there about 11 o'clock in the morning.
So you felt good about yourself when you were done.
I felt good that I was able to get out of there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was interesting why Oregon State funneled everybody through research stadium 1 point check-in. Was kind of a crazy time. But we had a wonderful time. I visited with my grandson for about 4 hours in the car, so which was fine. But I appreciate Oregon State a little bit more now being a Duck. I walked around campus with him, and it's a nice campus. It really is. So I'll donate.
I'm sorry you're a Duck, but how much do we get out of you now, Mr. Quack?
Well, ducks don't have as much money as beavers do, so I will donate $20 to my Paul Harris. Yeah.
Well, we're happy to get it from you.
Yeah.
Because ducks are usually pretty cheap, from what I've noticed.
Well, usually we try to maintain our money in our pocket rather than your pocket, Bob.
Oh,
They're actually quite foul.
I get it.
Anyway,
I begin to understand.
Anyway, it's a wonderful time. I really look forward to him succeeding there. Yeah.
Right. You've made yourself into a better person by doing that. Okay, anybody else?
I thought Rob Jr. had his hand up there earlier.
Well, I think he's gone.
Okay.
Here I am.
Oh, there he is.
I'm back.
Rob, you had your hand up.
Yeah, some very important happy bucks.
Oh my gosh.
It's my dog Hugo's birthday tomorrow.
Hugo.
Yeah. He made it. He made it 12 months.
I'll tell you, you people, if you've ever met a crazy dog, Hugo's it.
Yeah.
Big old German Shepherd. Well, just how happy are you that Hugo's going to have a birthday?
I'm $5 happy.
Well, good for you.
I told you it was important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the craziest dog you've ever seen, but he's a beautiful dog.
He's turning into a good boy. Sometimes he's a good boy.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'll try one more time. Richard, it's your show. Thank you, Rotarians, for your generosity.
Good job. Thanks, Bob. Next, we're going to have one of the programs that Diane had set up is new and seasoned members. So obviously, this individual is a seasoned member, had went through the ranks and had quite a career with Rotary. So without further ado, Jim Walker, take it away.
Thanks, Richard. I am a very well-seasoned Rotarian. I'm gone past the seasoned Rotarian. I'm way past the rule of 85. I think I'm up to 103. Your age plus years in Rotary. Yeah, I'm past season. I'm going to call this little talk the Reluctant Rotarian, because I was reluctant about joining Rotary when I first looked at the possibility. So let me give you a bit of my bio when I grew up on this nice little ranch. Then I'll talk about Rotary connections later on. I will say I've always believed in community service, and it was thanks to my mother, Alice, who did a lot of community service, including building us a full college-length asphalt paved basketball court in one of my dad's fields. So she knew how to take care of her community. But I never dreamed when I was a kid that I'd end up joining a group such as Rotary later in my life. In fact, in my mid-50s. In my town, Rotary didn't exist until the mid-1950s. And in Pistol River, ignorance is bliss was kind of the motto. But here I am, a 24-year Rotarian whose late wife, Molly, kept reminding me that I should join the Go Beach Rotary Club once I retired from a 33-year career in education, coaching, teaching English, speech, and theater, and serving as athletic director. First, let's strip back to my early days on the ranch, where Dad at times in his life milked cows, made cheddar cheese, sold suits, ran a general store, served as postmaster, took care of 50 head of Angus cattle and 100 head of sheep, and at one time, 50 hogs. And I participated in all that work. Oh, and he also dabbled in bootlegging for a time during the Depression. And occasionally poached a fish or two and a few deer to keep the family fed. I joined him on one of the angling expeditions where I learned a little bit about fishing with a net, not legal. For the first 6 years of my life, we lived in a cabin, one of 6 built by the Conservation Corps, and my aunts and uncles and cousins occupied the other 5. Then after a quick remodel in about 1948, we moved to my Grandpa Will's ranch home, just a mile away. Apparently Dad and my Uncle Bob didn't have a good level, since you could roll a Coke bottle from the upstairs bathroom across the hall and into the west side bedroom. I inherited those skills. My mom, who graduated from Oregon Normal School, had taught for 12 years until I came along. After that, she helped Dad on the ranch and in the store and coached her grade school basketball team. Mom was my hero. She also had the heart of a poet. In high school, I played 3 sports at Gold Beach, including football, basketball, and baseball. And one season, high jump for the track team between baseball games. My younger brother, Mike, an excellent outfielder, was my teammate for 3 years. After high school, I knew teaching would be my career. So I followed Mom's career path by attending Pacific University in Forest Grove, where I co-majored in English and journalism. By the way, my journalism instructor, Dr. Clifford Rao, had dated my mom when both were classmates at Pacific University. No special favors for me, though. I also pitched for the team, starting 1 game against Portland State and relieving in 5 more games as a rookie. When the school raised the tuition by $100 per year at the end of my freshman year, I wrote a letter to the president of Pacific asking him to explain the increase. Receiving no answer, I headed south to Oregon College of Education, from which my mother had graduated back in the early 1930s. At OCE, I was also on the baseball team, along with my freshman brother. By now, my major had changed to humanities, which included courses in art and music appreciation and world history. I loved the small town college, but at the end of my sophomore year, here we go, Bob, I heard the call of the beaver at Oregon State and again headed south. At OSU, I met Terry Baker, the Heisman Trophy winner that year, as well as Mel Counts and Jim Jarvis, both of whom I had played basketball against in high school. While I loved the campus and the allure of OSC, the English department was not as strong as the department at OCE. So at the end of my junior year, I returned to the Monmouth Bay School, where 2 of my favorite professors taught literature, Dr. Bellamy and Mr. Baker. Finally, with stints at 3 colleges behind me, I graduated from OCE in 1965 and took an intern teaching position in Salem at Judson Junior High. The next year, I moved to Walker Junior High in West Salem, where I served as department chair in English and coached baseball and football. After 2 years at Walker, I decided I really wanted to coach at the high school level, and I hooked on with Regency State, a Catholic high school. During my first year, at the age of 25, I became a Lutheran, which resulted in a little good-natured ribbing by the priests and nuns who made up most of the faculty. We only had 3 lay teachers that year. At Regis, I coached football, basketball, baseball, and a couple of other sports off time. The first 2 sports as an assistant. My baseball teams won the minor division title all 3 years, and in my final year, the league title against Staten. We met Central Lynn in the state finals, where we lost 6-3. My next stop was Thurston High School in Springfield, where I coached only baseball and taught a variety of English courses such as the American novel, The Lost Generation, poetry, and road and track, based around cars and racing, since I was racing my Porsche 914 that time around the Northwest and Canada. I also received my master's from OCE while working at Thurston. My 1973 team at Thurston made the league playoffs, but again we lost, this time to Marshfield. At this time, my life made a huge shift in direction as I was preparing to attend Oregon State for my doctorate in education with the intent of serving as a school administrator. But those plans were dramatically changed when my dad died in March of 1974. And I knew the cattle and sheep on the ranch couldn't take care of themselves. So I resigned at the end of the year and again headed south, this time back to Pistol River. Unfortunately, no jobs were open in Gold Beach. So in July, with no jobs and no income, I was wondering how my 2 sons and wife and I would eke out a living. But at the end of July, I received a phone call from a man named Ralph Dyson, who was moving from Elmira to Brookings to take the principal's position. He offered me the English department chair position and assigned me to coach the freshman boys basketball team. He also offered my wife the head secretary position, as she had held that position at Thurston. Happily, with jobs now, we settled into ranch duties and built a new corral for the critters that first summer. But my new principal kept pushing me to take the head football coaching job, which at first I turned down about 3 times, since I hadn't coached football since my stint at Regis. I thought I was going to embarrass myself out there, really. Finally, after consulting my wife, I said yes and hosted 120 players at the ranch for a hot dog and hamburger feed and touch football. Yes, we only won 2 games that year, but after beating Resport in game 7, my players carried me off the field. I thought they were going to drop me at one time there, but they did a good job. I was preparing to continue at Brookings Harbor the next year, but I was going through a divorce, serving as custodial parent for my 2 sons, now 12 and 14, when I received a call from Gold Beach Superintendent Edsel Colvin, my old baseball coach, who offered me the head baseball job and an assistantship in football. The only catch, he told me, would be my willingness to start a girls' basketball program, which was a school where they'd never played basketball except against boys on the lot. I said yes to all 3, finalized my divorce, and began a 22-year career at my high school alma mater. 4 of my girls' basketball teams played at state, twice for trophies, with 4 of my baseball teams earning league titles. The 78 team moved through the playoffs to the semifinals, where we lost to a much larger Eagle Point team. I felt fortunate to end my days as an educator at GBHS and gave the graduation speech when my youngest stepson was a senior. Along the way, I married Molly after 7 years of being single and took on 2 more boys, Rob and Chris, who were 4 and 6 at the time. By then, I had sold the ranch and moved to Gold Beach, where both of my sons, Dale and Jim, played baseball and JV football for me. Chris, the youngest of my stepsons, also played baseball for me. As I was contemplating retirement from my career in education, Molly's father, a longtime publisher of the weekly newspaper in Gold Beach, asked me what my plans were after retirement. And since I had been writing sport for the Curry County Reporter for years, along with feature stories for the summer vacation guides, I knew what he had in mind, serving as co-publisher with Molly after he retired from his publishing duties, just as I walked out of GBS for the last time. I'm not saying no very well here. After an 11-day trip to Rarotonga, the largest of the Cook Islands, as a retirement gift from Molly, we returned to Gold Beach to take over the reins of the Reporter, where Molly, the real boss, assigned me the editorial writing duties along with sports and covering county and city news. I never thought she'd assign me the editorial writing job. I thought her father really wanted her to have it. She said, I'm not touching it. You got to do the controversial stuff. Okay, got it. Just like my years as a coach and athletic director, some days began at 7 a.m. and ended past midnight. So much for retirement. Now, most of you listening to this talk have realized I haven't talked about Rotary so far. That's because teachers couldn't get off our hour-long meeting on Wednesdays. But I had joined Molly on a number of club projects since she had been one of the first women granted membership in Rotary. That was in 1988, and she had to attend as a visitor for 9 months before becoming one of 4 women admitted to the club. In 1997-98, she served as president of the Gold Beach Rotary. That took me 1 month of visits to become a member. At this time, Molly had been talking about community responsibilities and giving me pep talks about joining Rotary. My argument was we didn't both need to be members. Besides, I wasn't sure about committing myself to weekly meetings. As a race car driver, I reminded her, I only needed to pay my SCCA annual dues and get in enough races to keep my license active. I didn't have to attend meetings, but I was starting to see her point about being active in the community. So I finally said yes. After one potential sponsor turned me down, the local beer man, Kurt, agreed to be my sponsor. We became best friends, by the way. I love beer men. But I told Molly after my induction into the Gold Beach Club, I'll do projects and 10 meetings, but I don't want to serve on the board. 2 years later, I'm on the board. 3 years later, 2003-04 to be exact, I'm club president. I also was doing the club bulletin, which I did for 10 years. Okay, I told Molly, that's probably enough ladder climbing, at least for now. Then the publisher of our rival newspaper, Charlie Kocher, called me and asked me to consider taking the Leadership Academy course. That was a tough call, especially for a reluctant Rotarian. It took me the better part of a minute to say yes. And after 9 months of online and in-person meetings around District 5100 or 5110, I was a proud graduate of the Academy. Former RI President Frank Devlin was the speaker at the ceremony. That's it, I said. I'll just be a regular member now. That's when the district's community service chair called and asked me to take over his duties since he had been elected to the governor line. This time I asked Molly what she thought. She shook her head no, because we were planning to sell the paper and follow one of my sons and grandkids to Salem soon. But not out of character, I said yes and accepted the position. At the same time, I was serving on the Oregon Newspaper Publishers Association board and was just 2 years away from becoming president of that organization, which I'm still serving on the foundation side. During my 3-year stint as community service chair, I published a packet outlining service projects and clubs in the district. I still have copies of that document, which I'll pass on to President Richard and Club Community Service Chair Sylvia. In 2006, I was named Rotarian of the Year for the Gold Beach Club. Maybe I wasn't such a reluctant Rotarian after all. Then we picked up stakes and moved to Oregon's capital, leaving behind our Rotary Club and many friends, including many of my former students. Soon after arriving in Salem, and still in the middle of my year as ONPA president, we hooked up with the News Register of McMinnville, where Molly wrote sports or business and church news, and I covered local sports. Here was a weekly scenario. After covering a game in Amity, I returned to the News Register office to complete my story on the Amity contest while fielding phone calls at McMinnville High, Sheridan, Willamina, Dayton, and other schools in our coverage area. Those stories had to be written and filed prior to the 12:30 a.m. sports department deadline. 3 months later, after long nights covering games and filing stories, I asked the publisher, a good friend, if I could just write sports columns. Thankfully, he said yes, and I began writing stories about any and all sports at the high school, college, and pro levels. I wrote a number of these stories from my home in Salem and emailed to the sports editor. Much better. In the meantime, Molly and I joined the McMinnville Rotary Club since it was convenient to walk a few blocks from the newspaper office on Wednesdays to attend meetings on 3rd Street. At this time, I had no visions about serving ever again at the district level, but the incoming governor, Mike Caruso, asked if I considered being an assistant governor for 5 area clubs, which included the 2 McMinnville clubs, as well as Monmouth Independence, Dallas, and Sheridan. Being an assistant governor was a blast, one of the best jobs I ever had in Rotary. Then in 2012, Molly and I were invited to attend a zone event in Tahoe as special invited guests. Oh, by the way, I forgot that Mike and Danielle Banks, who succeeded Mike as District 5100 governor, had suggested I submit my name for a place on the governor team prior to the end of my first year as an AG. Well, I was successful in my bid to become the DG for the 2015-16 year and wore 2 hats at the SIG Assembly in Tahoe. After that, the training took us to Phoenix in 2013 for governor nominees, to Victoria, BC for governor-elect training. At this time, Molly was also serving as assistant governor, taking over my 5 clubs. Also among our duties was attending the annual president-elect training in Seattle and Blue Denim also in Seattle, which included governor teams from the 8 Northwest and Western Canada districts that were all part of the Northwest Pets group. Altogether, I attended 7 pets. Of course, during my governor-elect year, there were many club visits. I estimate that I attended over 35 club meetings around the district and gave talks at a number of those. The final training came in the annual International Assembly in early 2015, held at the San Diego Hyatt. At this event, every governor-elect from around the world attends for his or her final preparation and also to share time with the incoming RI president. Unfortunately, all of Molly's and my dreams to lead District 5100 came to an abrupt end on March 30th of 2015 when she took her own life at her home in West Salem. By that time, I had all my club visits planned, my budget submitted, and all the other details that take so much time and energy. Now, instead of continuing my preparations, I had to contend with writing an obituary I never thought I'd have to write and planning a memorial service back in her hometown of Gold Beach. Molly had been my right hand in Rotary and in the newspaper business. She has supported my coaching and racing career from our marriage in 1983 until her death. After many sleepless nights, I decided to resign my governorship. So on April 17th, I tearfully submitted my resignation to my friend and current governor, Doug. Along the Rotary journey, I met many wonderful people, including members of this very healthy Rotary Club of Newport. Through my years in the organization, I've met 8 international presidents, a number of zone directors, many district governors, and my 2015-16 governor-elect classmates from zones 25 and 26 became my good friends and partners. One of those governors has since died. 2 others have lost their spouses. Peggy, who I married in 2018 at Salem, and I will miss our friends in this club and our opportunities for service. We are moving back to Salem in October to be closer to my only remaining biological son, Jim. We lost older son, Dale, last year to coronary issues. Rotary will always be part of our lives, and you will always be in our hearts, and we will not be strangers. Thank you for the opportunities for service during these last 2 years, and please continue your important work in this wonderful town of Newport. Thank you. Any questions?
Any questions or comments for Jim? Well, I'll start out as my heart's broken, Jim, that we're losing you. You've been a great club member here, and you and Peggy, we really have enjoyed your time here. I've learned quite a bit from you, and I even learned more today. So again, what a journey you've had, and it's not over yet. So thank you for all the service you've done for Rotary. So thank you.
Thank you, Richard.
Yes. Thank you
Well,
so much for sharing.
In the tradition of fighting polio, of course, we're going to vaccinate 50 children against polio in your name. So, you know, I think that's very important. I believe that that's just a small token of our appreciation for you speaking today, but I know that you understand what that means, and that certainly is a worthwhile cause. So again, we'll do that and get that done. Thanks again for speaking, and certainly will be missed. Will you be, is this you said your very last meeting with us today? Is that right, Jim?
It's not going to be my last meeting. I don't plan on resigning, really. Neither one of us. We plan on watching on Zoom as long as there's Zoom available, and still coming back here for projects.
Wonderful.
I don't have any club in the near future I'd rather be a part of than this club right here.
Wonderful. Well, that's good to have, and we'll have you as long as you'll have us. So appreciate you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. All right. How about a secretary's report? We hear from our secretary and give us some updates on that.
Thank you, President Richard. Today we had 32 of 63 for just over 50% organic attendance. When I apply the makeups, we're up to 39 out of 63 for a 62% attendance. So one thing that we notice is we're growing membership, and it gets harder to get the percentages up with more members. But regardless, it's good to see the membership numbers growing, and good to see everyone here every week. And I appreciate all of you who are here. Membership incentive is Doretta, $5 this week. So Doretta is rolling in the bucks, doing that realtor gig, and getting that $5 membership incentive to make ends meet. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Sonia for the big wheel and the 50-50.
Thank you very much, Jim. And we have $65 in the pot today. We will, so the big winner will get $32.50. So spinning the wheel, see who gets it.
Dim, 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 dim.
Looks like Richard. Richard, so that's what you get for stepping up and being first. Congratulations, Richard.
Well, let me throw that into the Coastbusters kitty there, if you will. Will you do that?
That's awesome. Thank you.
All right, and then reminder, let's do 2 more. We've got a couple more minutes. So I've got another badge, nice emblem that can go on your vehicle or whatnot, and then a nice bumper sticker. So can you roll that 2 more times, Sonia?
Yes, and I apologize. I forgot you had asked me to do that.
No worries, no worries.
In the meantime, this is Doretta. Sorry, I was in the middle of meeting with somebody, but I'd also like to donate that $5 incentive to the Coastbusters.
Oh, thank you guys. That's awesome. Thank you. All right. All right. So you said 2 times. So what are we drawing for this time?
First one is the nice Rotary badge and metal, gold clad, what do you stick on your car?
There we go. Oh, Sandy. Thought you were gonna win it back.
Fix. I think your wheel's lopsided.
The magnet working well. Okay, then next, a nice bumper sticker there.
Looks like Keith.
All right. So just a quick reminder, I've got those at my office. Let me know. And then I've got Diane got a badge, Mark got a sticker, Sandy got a badge, Keith got a sticker. So that'll work out well. Stop by if you want, pick them up. I've got some new member packets. So several of you folks, we've gotten you inducted, and we promise to create an opportunity where you can have a few minutes to introduce or talk or share a little bit about yourself through the club meetings, and we'll make those times throughout the next coming months. And I also see a late message from Julie, so I want to give Julie the floor for just a moment. There's a guest that she had there that meant to get introduced that we skipped. So Julie, are you still on here?
Yeah, we couldn't get on that first link, so we were late getting on. So I just would like to introduce my guest, Riley Johnson, who is our he's been a couple times now. I think he's going to be becoming a member as soon as I get the membership packet for him. But he's covering from Tillamook to Walport as our wealth advisor. So another new member.
There you go. Wonderful. Welcome,
Yeah,
welcome.
good to see everybody.
Any other member announcements? Anything else going on that we need to hear about?
I think Sandy's waving.
Sandy, go ahead.
Oh, I was just thinking that for Ursula, would we do an online sympathy card for her mother's passing?
That's a great idea. Yes, thank you, Sandy, for mentioning that. John will likely get that coordinated.
Yep.
And again, those are great, and it gives you an opportunity to say a few things and sign for your family. And we didn't know her, but we certainly know the caliber. We certainly know the individual because of her daughter and Ursula. So sure send gratitude that way. So excellent. Okay, anything else for the good of the order? And then we'll have, if Kathy Heater's still on here or Dave Heater, we'll have you take us out with the 5-way test.
I'm here and I'm ready.
All right, go right ahead. John's gonna get
First, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? Fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned? And fifth, is it fun?
Is it fun? All right. See you all next